adventure, exploration, imagination. There's nothing better than wonderful childhood memories, and these memories are even sweeter if you were lucky enough to have made them out in nature. In today's world, children are spending increasingly less time outdoors. Both technology and the inaccessibility to nature creates barriers to what many of us once considered a natural part of childhood. The mission of the J.N. Ding Darling National Wildlife Refuge and the Ding Darling Wildlife Society is to get the children of today back in touch with nature. Having grown up on a farm in Iowa, our namesake, J. Norwood Ding Darling, carried meaningful memories of his childhood, which led him to be passionate about nature and wildlife. As an adult, he drew editorial cartoons illustrating the topics of his era, and a lot of the time, he used the cartoons to educate the public about environmental concerns. He also stressed the importance of re-educating the public every few years so people remember the significance of protecting our wild spaces. With this, Ding's conservation legacy was created and continues here at the refuge today. Federal funding continues to decrease at Ding, and visitor and education staff has been cut by 75%. These budget cuts would prohibit the refuge from keeping a conservation educator on staff to host students for field trips. But the Ding Darling Wildlife Society recognized the vital need to ensure that education continued for children at the refuge. With the help of generous supporters like you, the Society raised and contributed private funds for Refuge Education programs. Today, the Society brings more than 5,000 local students to the refuge for field trips and works to educate nearly 1 million visitors each year. But there are so many more to inspire.
I was really fortunate to have a teacher who inspired me. She planted seeds that have now grown into my ability to go out and teach other people about nature. Just as she inspired me, I hope to inspire some other students and teachers so that they can spread the good news about what we have here and our wildlife.
Education is not limited to the boundaries of the refuge. Thanks to the generous support of donors, the refuge will be able to bring that aha moment to countless individuals in Southwest Florida via the Wildlife on Wheels, or WOW for short. WOW is a mobile classroom and extension of the refuge that will travel to the 5-county area to educate students and adults on the importance of conservation and the interconnectedness of the ecosystems of our region. The focus will be reaching children from Title I schools and those in economically challenged communities who may never be able to visit Ding Darling due to distance and financial challenges. The unfortunate reality for most of these children is they only encounter nature as they walk to and from their schools. How can we expect this next generation to fight for wildlife and our wild spaces without having the positive outdoor opportunities many of us took for granted as kids?
When you're talking to a child, everything is so exciting and so new to them, and they just take it all in and absorb it. And seeing them light up with something that you're excited about and they're excited about, it is just, there's no words to describe that.
Our mission is to always protect and continue Ding's legacy. When students visit the natural wonder that is Ding Darling, they begin to understand the importance of conserving all wild spaces. Because of supporters like you, we will always have a strong conservation education program, complete with an educator and inspiring and engaging lessons that fuel students' desires to make a difference for our environment. Many of our students grow up pursuing careers in wildlife conservation, environmental law, or even politics. As adults, they could go on to ensure that environmental responsibility is a part of the public's agenda. But those who don't still grow up to be voters, the decision makers of tomorrow. Every encounter with nature will help them understand the importance of conservation and lead to a better future for all. Ask yourself, who will protect our wildlife and wild spaces after we're gone? What does the future of this planet look like if we don't educate the next generation of conservation stewards?
If a kid has never seen or has no idea what that organism is, or that animal or that habitat, how can we expect them to care? So you read it in a book and like, oh, this looks really neat, but to actually see it and experience and be there, of course they're gonna learn to protect it.
Your support for the education program of the J.N. Ding Darling National Wildlife Refuge will ensure that Ding's legacy continues for generations to come. Children who interact with nature will learn to preserve the natural world. Your support will ensure that they do just that.